Question 5, let's talk about the importance of how you say what you say, how you present your products. So we have done many times in the past live seminars for, let's say, 100 plus people, and we would split the room into two, and we'd have two envelopes randomly split around the room, and we'd ask the attendees at the event to assess what they think is the reasonable price for 3 items. So in envelope A, we would be asking customers, what do you think is a reasonable price for steak and chips? What do you think is a reasonable price to have your car valeted? What do you think is a reasonable price for us to complete your tax return? So that's all we're asking for them. Just put a number down. That's what you think is a reasonable price for that product or service. In envelope B, we have slightly different information. What we'd say in envelope B is, how much would you be prepared to pay for a locally sourced steak cooked to order with triple cooked skin on fries and a fresh local salad garnish? Now, actually, when we did it, I think there was even more embellishment, but you get the point. Really selling in the Marks and Spencer style of language, really selling the product or service. So Car Valet, for example, is not Car Valet. It's a premium car valet service using the very best quality cleaning materials to bring your car back to showroom condition. And the tax return service is your tax return completed and submitted to HMRC within all the relevant deadlines, making sure that all the information is correct, reducing your risk of a tax investigation, and making sure you've claimed all the allowances to which you're entitled. So 2 envelopes, A and B, what do you think the price point is for those people? What we got back from them was really interesting. So we took the average of the 50A customers and the 50B customers. And what we found is that by simply explaining, elaborating, I'll call it selling, that's what it is. So by simply selling the options more positively, with more flowery language, more descriptively, the perception of value in the eyes of the customer changed by a significant factor. In fact, bizarrely, in almost every occasion we did this, the price point was roughly double those prices indicated by Group A. So just using that language increased the perception of value for the customers. When we dug into this, what we found, which I guess is quite obvious, but not until you look at it and you explore it, is the language we were using has started the selling process. It started the customer thinking about what it would be like to buy that product or service. So we talked about the steak. They actually started to feel hungry. They didn't feel hungry when we said, how much do you think a steak and chips is worth? When we elaborated with the language, they start going, oh, yeah, that would be nice. When we talked about showroom condition of their cars, they were picturing their car looking shiny and polished, just like it did the day they bought it. And they were enjoying that feeling of driving it around, because we all like to drive a car when it's nice and shiny and clean. And when we talked about the, avoiding HMRC investigations, they started to feel reassured. They started to appreciate how good the relief of not being at risk of a tax investigation was. So the language started the selling process. And the more flowery language it was, the further down that process they started to go. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you've taken time out of your day to listen today. I hope you found it useful. There are my contact details on screen. If you buy my book, pick up the phone. I always have time to talk to people about pricing. So thank you for your time today.